Shrotram chakshuh sparshanam cha rasanam ghranam eva cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate. Hello friends, this is the ninth shlok of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says, Shrotram chakshuh sparshanam cha, which means hearing, seeing and touching. Rasanam ghranam eva cha, which means taste and smell also. Adhisthaya manaschayam, which means are situated in this mind, and Vishayan upasevate, which means enjoy the objects. So, continuing on the idea of the subtle body, Sri Krishna here mentioned that situated in the mind, this subtle body enjoys the five senses of hearing, seeing, touching, tasting, and smelling. So, what Sri Krishna is indicating over here is that this subtle body is just a modification in consciousness, which basically has no independent existence of its own. It basically is dependent on consciousness. If consciousness is not there, then this subtle body will also not be there. So, basically, mind is just a reflection of consciousness, and in this mind, this subtle body situates itself, it stations itself in that mind, which is basically it just, you can say it sprouts up, or it manifests itself in the reflection of consciousness in the mind, and it is basically just formed in the mind through the enjoyment of the senses. And if one changes the enjoyment of the senses, if one changes the senses that the mind is enjoying, then the subtle body will also change. So, as an example, if you watch a lot of movies where gangsters are portrayed to be good people, then your mind will become colored by this information, and the impression that will be formed in your mind is that the gangsters are good people, and therefore the subtle body will take this form. Subtle body will take this impression that gangsters are good people. So it will move towards this tendency of basically thinking that the gangsters are good people. So in other words, your subtle body depends on whatever senses you are fed in life. And that is the reason why, an Indian likes only Indian food, a Chinese likes only Chinese food, an Indian likes to listen to Indian music, a Chinese likes to listen to Chinese music. That is because these impressions have formed the tendencies. Now, if by force a Chinese is made to eat Indian food over a long period of time, then he will develop the liking for Indian food. And so, in his subtle body, the tendency will then go towards the Indian food. So, this is how things change in the subtle body. Subtle body does not really have an existence independent of consciousness. It's just a modification in the consciousness, which basically is an impression formed in there, and that packet basically is the subtle body. We in our foolishness start to think that we are that, but actually we are not that. It's just a tendency which has been formed. Of course you are not that. If you like Indian food, that is basically just a tendency formed in you. You are not in the liking of Indian food, but that is what we start to think. Anger is not you. Anger is just a tendency formed in you. Greed is not you. It is just a tendency formed in you. And we foolishly think that no, I am an angry person, I am a greedy person, I am a good person, and things like that. So that is what we have to understand. And our true nature is beyond the subtle body. The true nature of ours is the thing which does not really change. Subtle body changes. How can we be subtle body? So our aim in life is basically to go beyond subtle body and get to that place which is beyond the subtle body, which is beyond change, which is happiness in itself, which is bliss in itself, basically. So that is what Sri Krishna is mentioning over here. So I hope that I have explained this shlok well to you. With that, I will close this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.